My wife betrayed me with her married boss, planned to steal my inheritance, through child support, until DNA results exposed the truth and saved me. I am 39 years old. I thought I had everything figured out, a great wife, a new baby, the whole package. Now, I'm sitting here with DNA results that basically nuked my entire reality. I figured I'd share my whole screwed-up life with you all. Here goes. I'm typing this from my new condo downtown, watching the city lights, with a clear head for the first time in what feels like forever. Funny how life works. Last year at this time, I was planning family vacations and browsing minivans online. Now I'm single, childless, biologically speaking, and somehow in the best mental state of my adult life. Life comes at you fast, right? Sarah and I had been together for 9 years, married for 6. We met during my buddy Jake's birthday weekend in Vegas. She was there with her college friends, I was there with mine. It was a classic story. We locked eyes across the casino floor, spent the whole weekend together, and exchanged numbers, thinking it would never go anywhere since she lived in Phoenix and I was in Seattle. But damn, she was persistent. She started texting constantly, FaceTiming late into the night. 3 months of that, and I flew her up to visit. 6 months later, she transferred to a Seattle branch of her company. A year after that, we were engaged. Everyone called it a whirlwind romance. We were that annoying couple that finished each other's sentences and shared fries without asking, posting those sickening anniversary posts with paragraphs about how lucky we were. You know the type. Looking back, maybe I was the only one who wasn't acting. We'd been talking about kids since the 2nd year of marriage. Both of us were hitting our mid-30s, careers somewhat stable. It seemed like the right time. I was a mid-level manager at a tech company, nothing fancy but stable. Sarah was climbing the corporate ladder at her marketing firm, already a junior executive. So, we started trying some more. That fertility struggle hits differently, let me tell you. Every month, she'd take a test. Every month, she'd cry. Every month, I'd tell her, it's okay. We'll keep trying. The scheduled sex, the ovulation apps, the constant disappointment, it weighs on you. I started wondering if something was wrong with me. Sarah would pat my shoulder and say, we'll figure it out together, babe. We tried everything, changed diets, took supplements, stopped taking hot showers, wore looser underwear. Yeah, that's a thing, apparently. We joined online forums where couples shared their journeys. The whole thing started taking over our lives. Date nights became strategy sessions about optimal fertility windows. Weekend trips were scheduled around her cycle, and each month, when her period showed up, the crushing disappointment would hit again. After about a year of this, we started having talks about seeing specialists. Sarah seemed weirdly resistant. Let's give it a little more time, she'd say. My friend at work tried for 2 years before it happened naturally. Eventually, I put my foot down. I even went to a doctor to get checked out first. Results came back normal. The doctor said, keep trying. Sometimes these things take time. Sarah reluctantly agreed to get checked too, but always came back with vague reports. Doctor says everything looks fine, she'd tell me. Just bad timing or stress maybe. I never saw any paperwork, never went to appointments with her, and didn't think anything of it at the time. Then, boom, positive test. After nearly 2 years of trying, I literally spun her around in our kitchen like some cheesy movie scene. We called both our parents and started planning the nursery that same night. I was going to be a dad finally. That night, I lay in bed with my hand on her still flat stomach, making all these promises to our future kid about being the best dad ever. But things started changing once she got pregnant. It was subtle at first. Sarah got weird with her phone, new password out of nowhere, always face down on the table, stepping outside for calls. If I walked into a room while she was texting, she'd quickly lock the screen or switch to another app. Just Katie, she'd say when I asked. Her sister Katie never liked me much, always making little comments about how Sarah settled down too young or how she was giving up her dreams by marrying me. I thought she was just being a protective sister. Turns out, she was Iago in this whole Shakespearean tragedy. Sarah and I had always been pretty transparent with each other, shared passwords, open phone policy, all that. Not because we were checking up on each other, just because we had nothing to hide. Then, suddenly, she's changing passwords, deleting browser history, getting work emails at 11 p.m. that she had to step outside to handle. Why is everything so secretive all of a sudden? I asked one night after she snatched her phone away when I sat next to her. Pregnancy hormones make me weird about privacy, she said with this fake laugh. Plus, I'm planning your birthday surprise. My birthday was 7 months away. I also have to mention Nate, my best friend since freshman year of college. My best man. The guy who helped me pick out Sarah's engagement ring. The dude who held my hair back when I barfed after my bachelor party. Nothing crazy, just too much spicy food. The guy who drove 3 hours when my dad had emergency surgery just to sit with me in the waiting room. The friend who helped me move 6 times in 10 years without complaining. Suddenly, he's at our place all the time, bringing her pregnancy cravings, building the crib, offering to drive her. 2 appointments, which was weird because before the pregnancy they were friendly but not particularly close. Now he's texting her memes and inside jokes I wasn't part of. He's just excited to be Uncle Nate, Sarah would say. And honestly, I bought it. This was Nate, my boy. We'd been through everything together. Crappy apartments in college, my dad's heart surgery, his mom's cancer battle, the dude who passed up a job in New York to stay in Seattle when I got engaged, because he couldn't imagine living that far from his best friend. No way he'd cross that line. I remember once when I walked in on them laughing in the nursery, Sarah sitting in the rocking chair I'd assembled, Nate kneeling next to her with his hand on her belly. They both got quiet real fast, but my dumb ass just thought they were planning a surprise for me or something. "What's so funny?" I asked. "Just Uncle Nate telling terrible dad jokes," Sarah said, not quite meeting my eyes. "Got to practice," Nate added quickly, "for when I have my own someday." I even clapped him on the shoulder as I walked by. Idiot. Another time I came home early from work with flowers, trying to be a spontaneous romantic husband and all that. I heard Sarah on the phone in our bedroom through the cracked door. I know, it's complicated. No, he doesn't suspect anything. Just stick to the timeline we discussed. When I pushed the door open, she hung up immediately. "Work stuff," she said, taking the flowers. "These are beautiful. What's the occasion?" "No occasion," I said. "Who are you talking to?" "Just the office. Year-end projections are stressing everyone out." It was April, but I didn't push it. Just another item on the growing list of weird behavior I was choosing to ignore. Jackson was born on a Tuesday morning after 16 hours of labor. I was there for all of it. I cut the cord, ugly cried, the whole 9 yards. Called him my boy about 1,000 times in the first day alone. My parents drove 3 hours to meet him right away. Even my dad cried, the first time I'd seen that since his father died. Those first couple of days in the hospital were a blur. Through it all, Sarah seemed off somehow, not the glowy new mom I expected. Almost nervous, watching my face whenever I held Jackson. But I chalked it up to hormones, exhaustion, the whole first-time parent anxiety thing. As the weeks went by, things got weirder. Everyone kept saying, "He has your nose," or "That's definitely your chin." But I couldn't see it. The kid looked nothing like me. I have brown hair, brown eyes, so does Sarah. Her whole family is dark-haired. Mine too. 3 generations of brown-eyed Johnsons. Jackson had bright blue eyes, reddish blonde hair starting to come in. My mom made some comment about great-grandpa's genes, but come on. I pulled out old family photos late one night while Sarah was sleeping. Great-grandpa Schmidt on mom's side had dirty blonde hair in his youth, but dark eyes. Nobody in 4 generations of family photos had that bright blue-eyed strawberry blonde combo. Nobody. Then there was the blood type issue. I'm a positive, Sarah negative. Jackson's birth certificate showed B positive. I'm no geneticist, but that Wikipedia page on blood type inheritance had me scratching my head. When I mentioned it to Sarah, she got all defensive. "The hospital must have made a mistake on the paperwork," she said. "Why are you even checking that stuff?" Sarah caught me once staring at Jackson while he slept in his crib at 3 a.m. "What's wrong?" she asked, wrapping her arms around me. "Nothing," I lied. "Just can't believe he's ours." She tensed up slightly, just for a second, then laughed it off. "Well, he better be after what he did to my body." That laugh didn't reach her eyes. The guys at work threw me a dad shower, basically an excuse to eat wings and give me packs of diapers. My boss, Rick, who'd been through 3 kids of his own, took me aside. "How's it really going?" he asked when we were alone. "Great," I said automatically. "Exhausting, but great." He studied my face for a second too long. "You sure everything's okay? You seem, I don't know, distracted lately." For a split second, I almost spilled everything. The doubts, the weird behavior, all of it. But I just smiled and blamed it on sleep deprivation. Some things you just can't unsay, you know. But the thoughts kept gnawing at me, late-night Google searches about. Baby doesn't look like parents and how accurate are paternity tests. Studying Jackson's features, looking for anything of mine, the curve of an ear, the shape of a fingernail, anything, coming up empty every time. So yeah, I ordered a DNA test, not some sketchy mail-in thing, but a legit medical-grade test. I sat on the decision for weeks, feeling like the worst husband in the world for even considering it. What kind of man doubts his wife like that? What kind of father questions if his child is his? But then I'd look at Jackson, at those crystal blue eyes that matched exactly. 0 people in our families, and the doubt would creep back in. I started having trouble sleeping, lost my appetite. Sarah noticed, asked if I was coming down with something. Just work stress, I lied. Finally, I couldn't take it anymore. I told Sarah about the test one night over dinner, thinking she'd reassure me or maybe get upset that I doubted her, but ultimately understand my concerns and put them to rest. Instead, she laughed, actually laughed in my face. "Oh my God, Marcus. Seriously? You're being ridiculous. You think I what? Had some secret affair with whom? The mailman? Come on." That reaction, not what I expected. Not anger, not hurt, but dismissive laughter, like my concerns were a joke not worth taking seriously. She turned it into this running joke. Every diaper change, better make sure he's yours first. Every feeding, careful, might be raising the mailman's kid. Every time Jackson did something cute, sure you want to get attached? Might not be yours, remember? It was weird and uncomfortable. Like she was trying to make me feel stupid for even considering the possibility. Classic gaslighting, though I didn't recognize it as such at the time. I did the test anyway, swabbed the kid while she watched and made more jokes. She even took pictures of me doing it, posted them on Instagram with some caption about paranoid first-time dads. Her friends all commented laughing emojis. I mailed it off, feeling stupid, like maybe I was just being paranoid. That's what she wanted me to think, that I was the crazy one. The test wasn't cheap either, $500 for the premium package with expedited results. I paid for it from my personal account so it wouldn't show up on our joint card statement. I kept checking my email obsessively for the results. Every notification had me jumping. 2 weeks later, in the middle of a Tuesday at work, the email hit. "Thank you for using premium paternity testing services. Your results are now available in your secure customer portal." Heart pounding, I logged in, clicked through 3 screens of verification, and there it was. Probability of paternity, 0%. Not 99.9% like I'd hoped. Not even 50% or 25% or some weird statistical anomaly that could be explained away. 0. Not even a maybe. Not even a slim chance. My son wasn't my son. I read the email 4 times, checked to make sure it wasn't spam, logged into the testing company's website to confirm. Every time, same result, no possible way that kid was mine. The room started spinning. Literally felt like the floor was tilting beneath my chair. 5 months of diaper changes, midnight feedings, pediatrician visits, baby classes. All for what? Someone else's kid. My coworker Brad found me staring at my screen, not blinking. "Yo, Marcus, you good? Look like you've seen a ghost." I almost told him, but something made me keep quiet. If Sarah could lie about something this massive for this long, I could keep my mouth shut while I figured out what to do. I closed my laptop and left early, told everyone I was feeling sick. Wasn't even a lie. I drove around for 3 hours before going home, trying to figure out what to do, thinking about every moment of our marriage, wondering what else had been a lie. When I finally got home, Sarah was in the nursery, rocking Jackson. She looked up and smiled like nothing was wrong, like she hadn't completely shattered our life together. "Hey babe, we missed you." Jackson learned how to grab his toes today. I just stood there, looking at them. This woman I thought I knew, this baby I thought was mine, this life I thought was real. I almost threw the test in her face, but I knew what she was going to say and do, and I wouldn't get any answer out of it. "You okay?" she asked. "You look pale." "Fine," I managed, just tired. Then I started my investigations. First thought was Nate. Had to be. The timing worked out, the kid's coloring. Nate's got that reddish blonde thing going. The way Sarah's entire energy changed when he texted. The inside jokes. The sudden closeness during her pregnancy, their weird behavior whenever I walked in on them together. My best friend and my wife. Classic setup, right? But I needed proof, real proof. I wasn't about to blow up my life, my friendship, everything, based on a suspicion. So I logged into our phone account. Sarah and Nate texted almost daily for months. Hundreds of messages, way more than I realized. But the content seemed normal, baby stuff, plans for visits, nothing overtly suspicious, though the sheer volume was concerning. Why does my pregnant wife need to text my best friend 40 times a day? I started watching them more closely, how they interacted at family gatherings. The little glances, the way she'd touch his arm when laughing at his jokes. Nothing concrete, but my spidey sense was tingling hard. Then Sarah suddenly started taking more interest in our finances. She'd always been the swipe the card and hope for the best type, letting me handle bills and budgeting. Now she's asking about our investments, our retirement accounts, our savings. And right then, my dad calls with perfect timing. The universe is funny sometimes. "Son, your mom and I have been talking to our financial guy. Want to give you and Jess your inheritance early, tax benefits. Plus, we'd rather see you enjoy it while we're still around." My parents weren't mega wealthy, but they'd done well. Dad had a construction business he'd built up over 40 years, sold it for a decent sum when he retired. Mom had family property that had appreciated like crazy. They live comfortably but frugally, classic blue-collar millionaires. My sister Jess got the smart genes in our family. She's 4 years older, does contract management for some big tech firm, makes more money than me and my wife combined. Has this scary ability to read people's intentions that I clearly didn't inherit. Dad's talking about $400,000 each in property and cash. Beautiful timing. Except 2 days later, Sarah suddenly becomes a financial expert. "Baby, your dad's gift is incredible. We should use it for Jackson's future. Maybe pay off the mortgage or invest in that rental Katie found near downtown. Her friend's selling it below market. I was thinking we could put it in both our names for tax purposes." She had never in 6 years of marriage mentioned tax purposes even once. Now, suddenly, she's a CPA. Then, at dinner, casual as hell. "Oh, I added myself to your savings account today. The bank lady said it makes family expenses easier." Every alarm bell in my head went off like sirens. This woman, who hasn't balanced a checkbook in her life, is suddenly planning complex financial moves with money that isn't even in our accounts yet, who gets added to accounts without discussing it first. Something was seriously wrong. I nodded and smiled through dinner like, "Oh yeah, great idea, babe." Meanwhile, my brain's connecting dots at light speed, the paternity test, the sudden interest in my inheritance, the whispering phone calls, the password changes. It's like watching a puzzle come together, and the picture it's forming is ugly as hell. I decided to call Jess that night from the garage, pretending I was organizing tools. I told her I needed some financial advice. I told her everything, the paternity test, Sarah's sudden interest in money, the conversations about putting property in joint names. There was a long silence on the other end. "Mark, listen carefully. Inheritance is separate property unless you mix it with marital assets. Once you put that money in a joint account or buy something in both your names, she gets half. Washington State is community property. In a divorce, she gets half of anything considered marital property. Sarah's setting you up for something." The word divorce hit me like a sledgehammer, but it made perfect sense. The timing, the paternity situation, the money moves. She was positioning herself. "What do I do?" I asked. "Put everything in my name now, set up trusts, keep it all separate. Tell her whatever you need to tell her, and Marcus get a lawyer." Like yesterday, I spent the next week in stealth mode, opened new accounts, met with a financial advisor, started transferring assets to Jess's name, set up a consultation with the most cutthroat divorce attorney in Seattle, all while playing the role of clueless husband at home. "How's that inheritance paperwork coming?" Sarah would ask casually over dinner. "Oh, you know how Dad is," I'd say. "Wants everything done just right. Probably be a couple more months." She'd look disappointed but try not to show it. "Well, no rush, I guess. Though that rental property Katie mentioned won't be available forever." After the 5th time she brought it up in 3 days, I finally decided to confront her directly. "Sarah, what's with all the questions about the inheritance lately? You've never been this interested in finances before. Now it's like every conversation circles back to my dad's money." Her face did this weird thing where it cycled through about 3 different expressions in 2 seconds, then this fake, casual smile. "What?" "I'm just trying to plan for our future. For Jackson," she said, voice a little too high. "Is it wrong to want financial security for our family?" "No. But you're bringing it up constantly. The money's not even here yet, and you're already spending it." She didn't respond right away, just studied my face carefully. Something in her eyes changed, a coldness I'd never seen before. She stopped asking about the inheritance after that, but I could feel her watching. Me, analyzing my movements, checking my laptop when I left it open. Her direct questions were replaced with silent observation. That only made my suspicions grow faster. So I did exactly what Jess suggested. Moved every liquid asset to accounts under Jess's name. Dad's inheritance went straight into a trust Jess controlled. On paper, I looked broke. In reality, I was bulletproof. When Sarah occasionally made indirect references to the money, I played dumb. Yeah, working with tax advisors. Complicated stuff. Should be sorted soon. Meanwhile, I still needed to know who the father was. That weekend, we had a barbecue. All our college friends, including Nate. Watching him play with Jackson, knowing what I knew, felt like acid in my stomach. At one point, Nate sat down his water glass to help me flip burgers. Perfect timing. The universe throwing me a bone for once. While everyone was busy losing their minds over some touchdown, I casually drifted over, swabbed that glass rim like I was collecting evidence. At a crime scene, which, let's be honest, I basically was, and pocketed. The cotton swab smoother than a pickpocket at a tourist trap. Monday morning, I mailed off the latest Who's My Baby Daddy test kit. Nate's DNA sample paired with another from Jackson. Then I waited, checking my email every 5 minutes like a teenager waiting for a crush to text back. Wednesday afternoon, the results arrived with all the subtlety of a wrecking ball, probability of paternity, 0%. I was like, what the actual hell? That changed everything. I'd been so focused on him that I hadn't looked elsewhere. If not my best friend, then who? Is it really the mailman, the neighbor, some random guy from a bar? I'd been so laser-focused on Nate that I hadn't even considered other possibilities. It was like realizing you've been trying to solve a Rubik's Cube while blindfolded and missing 3 fingers. But honestly, at that point, I was mostly disgusted with the person I married. I stopped playing detective. I mean, what was the point? The kid wasn't mine. That was the only fact that mattered. Who actually knocked up my wife was just details at this point, and I was done wasting mental energy on someone who clearly thought I was nothing but a walking ATM. So I stopped sleeping at the house altogether, told her I needed space to think, and moved most of my stuff to Jess's guest room. I'd pop by the house maybe once or twice a week to grab mail, check on things, keep up appearances. Each time, Sarah would try to engage, asking when I was coming home, saying Jackson missed me, fake concerned wife routine. I'd give one-word answers and bounce. You're being distant, she'd say, like I was the problem. Yep, I'd respond, not even looking up from sorting through the mail. Truth is, I was assembling my exit strategy, meeting with my lawyer, building evidence. Every time I looked at Jackson, all I could see was the physical proof of her betrayal. Every time I looked at Sarah, all I could see was a stranger wearing my wife's face. Being away from the daily gaslighting cleared my head. I stopped drinking her Kool-Aid, stopped believing her stories, started seeing everything for what it was. Meanwhile, Sarah kept hammering about the inheritance, getting more aggressive about it with each passing day. Marcus, it's been 2 months. What's really going on with the money? We're supposed to be partners. I thought we were building a future for Jackson. The irony was thick enough to choke on. Partners? Future? Please. Finally, I threw her a bone. You're right. Let me transfer $50,000 for the house on Monday. Her whole face changed, like she'd won the lottery. Really? Oh, baby, I knew you'd understand. Katie's friend said we need to move fast on that rental property. So, I transferred exactly $50,000 from our joint savings to another joint account labeled Home Improvement. Showed her the confirmation. See, $50,000 moved for the house. She didn't even check where it came from, just saw what she wanted to see. That night she called me, voice dripping with fake sweetness. I miss you, she purred. Jackson misses you. Maybe we could have a special night when you come over. Can't tonight, I replied flatly. Work stuff. Met with my attorney that afternoon, laid out everything, the DNA results. The emails, the inheritance hidden in Jess's name, all of it. Perfect, he said. On paper, you've got minimal assets. She'll look greedy, demanding money that doesn't technically exist. 2 days of silence later, Sarah dropped her bomb. She called me, voice all controlled and serious. Marcus, we need to talk about our future. We don't have a future, I replied. She ignored that. I've been unhappy for a while. We've grown apart. I think we should separate. She kept going with the whole speech. Different paths. Need to find myself. Think about what's best for Jackson. I let her finish, then just said, okay. The shock in her voice was priceless. She'd expected tears, begging, questions. Okay? That's all you have to say? What else is there to say? You've made up your mind, right? She stammered, completely thrown off script. Yes. But don't you want to know why? Don't you want to try to fix this? Sarah, if you're done, you're done. I'm not going to beg someone to stay who doesn't want to be here. She stared at me for a second, then switched tactics, started laughing. This cold, mocking laugh I'd never heard from her before. You pathetic loser. You think this is going to be easy? You'll be paying for Jackson until he's 18. Half your paycheck gone. That inheritance? Mine. The house? Mine. You'll be living in some shitty studio apartment. I said nothing, just let her keep digging her grave. You always were a pushover, she continued. No backbone, no fight. Are you done? I asked calmly. Oh, I'm just getting started. By the time my lawyer finishes with you, you'll wish you'd never been born. You think, okay, is an answer? You'll be saying okay when the judge orders you to hand over every penny you've ever earned. We'll see. Yes, we will. And one more thing. Jackson's better off without you as a father figure anyway. A real man would fight for his family. He's not my son, I said quietly. The line went silent. What did you just say? You heard me. You're delusional, she sputtered. Of course, he's yours. I didn't respond. The divorce papers came 3 days later. Her demands were exactly what my lawyer predicted. The house, half of everything, including the inheritance she thought I had, full custody of Jackson, plus child support and alimony because she sacrificed her career. That's when we dropped our response. My attorney was surgical, paternity test results showing Jackson wasn't mine, financial, records showing I had minimal assets since everything was in Jess's name, documentation, proving the inheritance was never touched or mixed with marital funds, no spousal, support for fraudulent marriages, no child support for non-biological children. Her lawyer's face at that first meeting was priceless. He kept flipping through our evidence, looking at Sarah, back to the papers. You told me he had significant inheritance funds. Sarah turned red. He does. He's hiding it. He must be. My lawyer calmly laid out bank statements. My client's personal accounts show minimal assets. His inheritance remains in family trusts, never commingled with marital property. Her lawyer asked for a recess. Through the conference room door, we could hear him going off on her, lied to me about basic facts. Paternity issue changes everything. Cannot make these kinds of claims without... When they came back, her lawyer had a completely different tone, suddenly talking settlement, wanting to keep things civil. Amazing how quickly things change when they realize they're on the losing side. But Sarah wasn't having it. She stormed out, slammed the door, the works. Classic Sarah move when logic fails, bring the drama. That day, she went full scorched earth on Facebook. The victim post started immediately. Some people show their true colors when things get hard. Starting over as a single mom, Jackson and I will be stronger without toxic people. When someone chooses money over their own child, her friends and Katie ate it up. Comments about deadbeat dads and real men flooding in. I didn't respond to any of it, just sat back and watched her dig her own grave. Then Sarah made her big mistake. She posted a photo of me holding Jackson as a newborn. Remember when you pretended to care? Some men just aren't built for fatherhood. She tagged my family, my workplace, everyone we knew. My mom had enough. This sweet woman who barely uses Facebook dropped the hammer. Interesting narrative. From someone who knows the DNA tests proved Marcus isn't Jackson's biological father. Maybe save this energy for finding the actual father. The comments blew up like a nuclear bomb. Sarah tried damage control, deleted everything within an hour, but too late. Screenshots are forever, baby. My phone buzzed right after. How dare your mother say that publicly? Do you know what you've done? Sarah texted. I just put my phone down, didn't bother responding. What was I supposed to say? Truth sucks, doesn't it? Then things got even better. During discovery, my lawyer found the smoking gun we needed. Turns out Sarah's company credit card had a paper trail a mile wide, weekly lunch meetings at the same hotel downtown, always. With this David dude, her freaking boss. A married guy with 2 kids at home while he's banging my wife on company time. Classic. We kept digging, and holy, the dirt we found. David was hooking her up with fake expenses, bonuses, and paying for business trips, where Sarah was the only one who went. The receipts were beautiful, like Christmas came early for my divorce case. But the real mind-blower, the fertility clinic records we dug up. This whole time, I'm stressing about my swimmers not doing their job, taking supplements, and wearing baggy underwear like some kind of fertility monk, and Sarah's secretly getting birth control shots behind my back. Straight up preventing pregnancy while pretending to try with me. Who does that? So, the whole picture finally came together like some screwed-up puzzle. Sarah hooks up with David, keeps me dangling with this fake fertility struggle, then time's getting knocked up perfectly. The master plan, divorce the sucker, that's me, cash in on child support, and my inheritance money while keeping David as her sugar daddy on the side. We hit David with paternity test papers. His lawyer tried every trick to block it, but the judge basically told him to sit down and shut up. When those results came back, it was game over, 99.99% match. Homeboy was definitely the dad. Should have seen his face when those papers landed. Dude looked like he was going to pass out right there in the courtroom, sitting there watching this unfold. All I could think was how insanely lucky I was, like I'd stepped on a landmine that somehow didn't explode. The final hearing was something else. David's wife sat in the back row looking like she was planning a murder. Sarah kept whispering frantically to her lawyer, who just kept shaking his head. The judge's ruling hit like a sledgehammer. David, established as biological father, ordered to pay child support. Sarah gets primary custody since she's still the mother. No spousal support, no child support from me. Assets split only included actual marital property, about $100,000 total. The inheritance stayed untouched in the family trusts. And the cherry on top, the judge ordered Sarah to pay all my legal fees because of her fraud scheme. Said something about egregious conduct and deliberate deception. Legal Talk for You tried to scam this dude and got caught. When Sarah heard she had to pay my attorney fees out of her share of the assets, she absolutely lost it. Started screaming in the courtroom about me stealing from Jackson and hiding money. The judge shut that down real quick, basically told her that her own texts and emails proved she knew exactly what she was doing the whole time. On her way out, David tried approaching Sarah in the hallway. She turned her back on him like he was invisible. Guess the affair wasn't so hot once the money dried up. And let me tell you, the aftermath hit her like a freight train. David's wife filed for divorce the same day and took him to the cleaners. Got his company stock, house, cars, savings, everything but his underwear. She made sure everyone in their social circle knew exactly why they were splitting up too. With David broke as hell, he couldn't pay the massive child support the court ordered. Sarah tried crawling back to her old company, but nobody wanted to touch the woman who got knocked up by the married boss. Word travels fast in corporate circles. 3 months later, Sarah got evicted from her apartment. Had to slink back to her parents' house at 38, single mom, no job, no money, credit cards maxed out. Her parents' basement became her new master suite. How the mighty fall, right? Even Katie ghosted her. Guess sisterly love has its limits when there's no more cash to mooch. Last I heard, Sarah's scanning groceries at some gas station for minimum wage, posting those sad MLM pitches on Facebook, looking for boss babes to join her exciting business opportunity. Her remaining friends duck her calls since they know she's just looking to borrow money again. Me? I'm living my best life. Just transferred all my assets back once everything was settled. Got myself a sick penthouse downtown. Started hitting the gym again. Reconnected with old buddies, and took that European trip I'd always talked about. Amazing how your career takes off when your home life isn't a dumpster fire. I walked away with my dignity, my money, and the satisfaction of watching karma do its thing in real time. Never had to rub it in. Her life is doing that job for me every single day. Moral of the story, when your wife suddenly needs access to your inheritance while texting shady about the plan, lawyer up fast. And sometimes, just saying okay and walking away is the biggest power move of all. Trust your gut. Protect your cash.